The Zelani delegation stood at the edge of what had once been the most hostile jungle on Kepler 442b, their chitinous frames trembling with disbelief. Where their ancestors had documented an impenetrable wall of carnivorous flora and venomous predators, now stretched ordered rows of flowering trees, their branches heavy with fruit that glowed like amber jewels in the morning light. "Impossible," whispered Kethvar, the expedition's xenobiologist, his compound eyes reflecting fractured images of the impossible sight before them. The Thornwall sector was declared permanently uninhabitable. Nothing survives there for more than a cycle. Ambassador Nexthu consulted her data tablet with trembling claws. "According to our records, we exiled the human here 12 standard years ago. The council was unanimous. Death by jungle consumption was considered merciful compared to our usual penalties for war crimes. The human they spoke of had been Marcus Chen, the last surviving member of a human exploration vessel that had violated Zelani territorial space. Rather than execute him outright for the transgression, the Zelani had chosen what they believed to be a slower, more natural death, abandonment in the planet's most lethal ecosystem." "Sir," called out Scout Pexnall from ahead, his voice carrying an odd tremor. "You need to see this." The delegation advanced through what should have been a maze of flesh-eating vines and acid-spitting blooms. Instead, they walked on carefully maintained pathways of fitted stone, bordered by what appeared to be gardens. Actual, cultivated gardens where the deadliest flora on the planet grew in neat, organized sections. The crimson bloodthorn trees, notorious for impaling prey with barbed projectiles, were arranged in perfectly spaced groves. Their thorns had been carefully harvested and sorted into wooden containers. The acid orchids, whose nectar could dissolve Zelani carapaces in minutes, bloomed peacefully in raised beds, their deadly secretions being collected in glass vessels through an ingenious system of bamboo channels. "How is this possible?" Kethvar muttered, taking readings on his scanner. "These plants are still fully toxic, still capable of their normal lethality. But they're organized, domesticated." The path led them deeper into the transformed jungle, past irrigation channels that redirected the flow of the poisonous Crimson River, past terraced hillsides where bioluminescent fungi provided nighttime illumination in precise patterns. Everything spoke of intelligence, planning, and an impossible understanding of the ecosystem's deadliest elements. Then they saw him. Marcus Chen emerged from beneath a canopy of what the Zelani knew as strangler moss, a parasitic organism that crushed the life from anything that lingered beneath it. Yet the human walked calmly underneath its tendrils, which seemed to part before him like a living curtain. He was lean but healthy, his skin bronzed by the alien sun, wearing clothes woven from plant fibers that should have been impossible to harvest safely. "Gentlemen," Marcus said in accented Zelani, setting down a basket filled with various fruits and fungi. "I wasn't expecting visitors." The delegation stood frozen. Ambassador Nexthu's translator struggled to process the casual tone in which he addressed them. No fear, no anger, no desperation of a condemned man, just mild curiosity. How are you alive?" Kethvar stammered. Marcus glanced around at his transformed domain with what might have been pride. "Took some figuring out at first, I'll admit. Your jungle is remarkably sophisticated. Every plant, every animal, every microorganism is part of an intricate balance. Once I stopped trying to fight it and started trying to understand it," he shrugged. "Turns out even the most hostile ecosystem wants to achieve equilibrium." He gestured to a nearby tree whose bark wept a substance the Zelani knew could blind and kill. "The weeping death here. It's not trying to kill everything. It's defending itself because it's never learned to trust. But if you approach slowly, if you offer it what it needs, the right nutrients, the right companions plants, the right amount of space, it becomes remarkably cooperative." Marcus picked up a cloth and wiped some of the tree's toxic sap from his hands as casually as if it were water. The delegation's medical sensors went haywire. "You should be dead," Nexthu whispered. "That toxin built up an immunity over the first 2 years," Marcus said matter-of-factly. "Started with micro-exposures, learned which fungi could synthesize the antidotes, gradually worked my way up. Human immune systems are quite adaptable when we need them to be." He led them further into his domain, past areas where he had clearly been conducting careful breeding programs with the planet's deadliest predators. The shadow cats that had once stalked Zilani settlements now lounged peacefully in the dappled sunlight, their poison claws carefully trimmed and collected in another set of containers. The thing about hostile environments, Marcus continued conversationally, is that they're only hostile because nobody's bothered to learn their language. Every killer plant here serves a purpose: pest control, soil enrichment, chemical processing. Every monster is just an animal trying to survive in the niche evolution carved out for it. Scout Pecksnall's voice was barely audible. You've turned the most dangerous place on our planet into a farm. A garden, Marcus corrected gently. A farm implies exploitation. This is partnership. I give the ecosystem what it needs: careful management, protection from real threats like the solar flares that come every few years, selective breeding to optimize health rather than just lethality, and it gives me everything I need to thrive. He paused beside a pool where bioluminescent fish swam in lazy circles, their light providing a steady glow that he had clearly learned to read like a complex information system. Your people thought this jungle would claim me, Marcus said, watching the play of light beneath the water's surface. They weren't wrong. It did claim me, but not the way they expected. Ambassador Nexthu found her voice at last. What do you want from us? Marcus looked genuinely surprised by the question. Want? Nothing. I have everything I need here, though. He paused, considering. If any of your young scientists are interested in xenobotany or ecosystem management, I'd be happy to teach them. This place has taught me more about biological harmony than a dozen university degrees ever did. The delegation stood in stunned silence as the implications washed over them. The human they had condemned to death had not merely survived, he had thrived, transforming their planet's greatest natural weapon into a testament to adaptation and understanding. As they prepared to leave, Kethvar turned back one last time. How do we explain this to the council? Marcus smiled, the expression oddly gentle in the filtered light of his garden jungle. Tell them that humans don't just survive hostile environments, we make them home. The Zilani delegation departed in silence, carrying with them the uncomfortable realization that they had not exiled a criminal to die, but had accidentally created something far more dangerous than any weapon their world had ever known. A human who had learned to make the impossible into the inevitable.